Uh, Welcome to Mom's Basement Streams. I'm Aaron. I'm your host. Uh, Tonight we will be streaming Bug Delver. We tomorrow, I believe it is Donovan playing Nexus. Wednesday is Kekich playing Bug, Bug Midrange. Then we have Richie playing Esper Control, the list that Zach Allen ended up topping the last open using. And then Friday, we have Josh playing dinosaurs again. Drew, I'm not sure what he's playing on Saturday, nor am I sure what. I believe Sunday is also going to be dinosaurs. We have a lot of dinosaurs today. Uh, Now let's just sort of go over this list. So previously, I had played Bug Delver on stream, but I wasn't using any dazes. This list is built to alleviate many of the issues I was having with that one. Namely, there wasn't a high enough density of blue cards to be able to use Force of Will effectively without cutting myself off of a lot of different plays, and also the fact that I was having a hard time against combo. Now, Bug is pretty much built to beat combo, so that's a little awkward. Now I've made some changes. Instead of having Baleful Strixes, I have Spell Pierces, I have Dazes. The deck is much more streamlined. It's got some one-ofs: Tombstalker, Gurmag, Lily, Sylvan Library, and Bitter Blossom. Those are all power one-ofs, and the Bitter Blossom, Library, and Lily all feed Goyf very, very nicely. Out of the board, we actually are trying to hit mostly Death and Taxes, as bad as it sounds. We have Fatal Push, Jite, Trophy, Last Hope, Marsh Casualties, and Diabolic Edicts for them. Death and Taxes is a rough matchup because they have a lot of very small threats, and then they have a Mother of Runes to back them up, which turns out to be a nightmare for us. Against a lot of combo decks, though, we are much better off than we were because, while we don't have quite as much pressure as in the last list, we also have more tools. We have Spell Pierces and Thoughtseize in the main. This also should help with some Stoneforge decks. Oh, as an aside, you can find us on Twitter, on YouTube, and on TCG Player. Oh, we even have a nice little schedule down here saying what's going to be played. I didn't notice that one. Feel free to donate, subscribe. If you watch this on YouTube, hit like, maybe share it. Now, let's get straight into match number 1. And I'm hoping that we end up running into some more fair decks because, well, unfair decks can just be blown out by Bug Delver. I really want to gauge how I should and need to play against the blue-white, especially Stoneblade decks for GP Niagra Falls. When I'm in Niagara Falls, I want to be on a deck that has Hymn to Turok, Spell Pierce, True Name, Force, Brainstorm, pretty much, and Abrupt Decays. Because Abrupt Decay and Assassin's Trophy right now are two premium pieces of removal that let you cleanly deal with some very annoying cards. Foremost amongst them, Chalice of the Void. Now, technically they can put the Chalice high enough that Trophy doesn't deal with it, but I'm less concerned about that. This is a weird one. I have 2 brainstorms, so I feel like this is safer than I was probably giving it credit for. Now it is definitely less safe. Okay. Hmm. We're likely going to lose to this because this is just really rough. Goblin Lackey on turn 1 when we don't have removal in hand is just such a bad feeling. Hmm. So what we're looking for this next turn is a Fatal Push off this Brainstorm. Perfect. Okay, so we are going to want to get rid of... Honestly, probably this Daze. We need the extra lands. The thing is that the next turn we can pick off... I don't know how likely it is that he'll have 2 goblins put into play here. Ooh, he had a lot of goblins to put into play here. Hmm. So we run out of Last Hope. At this point, I don't think we're winning. I think what we're doing is sort of just trying to stall out the game for a while, just to get a better idea of what his list is like, whether he's running Tarfires or if he's on the Gem Palm plan. Now, if he plays a Kiki Jiki off this hit, we're just dead, because he's just going to keep making a bunch of copies. Tarmogoyf would be lovely. Hmm. No, I want that and that on top. That way I can, this turn, Wasteland. We run out of Goyf. He's a 4/5, so it's going to be irritating for our opponent to kill him because he can't use that twice. He doesn't have the mana to do so, and we have a Force of Will. Well, now he does. Hmm. I think I have to block here and just force him to trade. Or, well, force him to lose a whole ton of tokens. Well, we aren't out of it. We still have a chance. Because next turn in response, after the Delvers flip, we can end up fetching. Are we just dead here? So we double block him. Yeah, I think we just are stuck with that. Ooh, that's really rough. We're gonna fetch. Grab a trop. We need like a brainstorm into not that. Okay, so out of board, I know we want Last Hope. We want a Marsh Casualties. We don't want to be particularly invested in it. The Hydroblast is nice. If I recall from when I was playing against Josiah, the Bitter Blossom was pretty awful. Library wasn't necessarily helping as much as we need it to. And Spell Pierce. The Dazes and the Forces let us sometimes snag some tempo, and additionally, we can end up using the Dazes to make sure we put a land back in our hand. So we'll play an Underground Sea into a Delver. Now, technically, I should be bluffing and not just... Ew. Well, that's unfortunate. There's a decent chance they're on Blood Moons, but since we don't run any basics in this deck... Well, hopefully they... We'll just get this out of the way now. We'll wasteland their wasteland. Sort of expedite this process. Next turn, ideally we get to play a Last Hope. Worst case... Oh, wow, yeah. Last Hope is going to be doing a lot of work here. Grab a Bayou. Yeah. Don't think he was going to get that one. Now, knowing he is on... I want the Thoughtseizes. I don't want as many hymns. The Marsh Casualties is better because I know he's on more just sort of slow things. Slow cards that just cheat a bunch of guys into play. I don't know how good Gurmag is because of the fact that he has a bunch of tutors for Sting Scourgers, and Sting Scourger ends up screwing us over in so many different ways that it's not even funny. I can see us taking out a Daze. I still want them in this matchup, as weird as it sounds, because even going second, it is a way to disrupt tempo, and Goblins is a tempo deck, regardless of what anyone tells you. Keep that. That's a snap keep. That is also snap. So we'll Fatal Push that. Make our Goyf pretty big, pretty fast. Let's play a Trop, and then let's just run him out. This may go better than expected. Just because... Sure. Where is it? Show game log. Okay, so he's going to have a Krenko. Very interesting. So hopefully he doesn't have like a Simian Spirit Guide. I don't think he would have one, but I don't know what Goblins players do. A bunch of weirdos. But now we have some Goyf beats. It's kind of odd that we don't have a sorcery in the yard, but I'm not profoundly upset about it. Now, this is going to suck when he has the Pyroblast, but if he doesn't... Oh, hot damn. Okay. Well, now we are cooking with steam. And more than likely, not just steam, we are going to roast him. Ah, seriously, those are some nutty draws. I mean, he's right. I will not lie to him about that. Well, that went way better than expected. Goblins is normally a kind of odd matchup for Delver. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. A lot of it is play draw dependent. In this case, we were going second, so normally not the best in the world, but worked out. Minor miracle. Man, this calendar needs to be expanded. In the not too distant future, I'll be running a real dinosaur stompy list. Not any of the sneak attack nonsense. Just good old fashioned dinosaur stompy. With all the things that just shouldn't see a whole ton of legacy play. Like Rampaging Ferocidon. Which I don't think it's it ruins standard quite as much as people were saying. Huh. You'll notice that a lot of the time I'll keep more land-heavy hands. It's because against just about everything, Bug Delver kind of just wants more cards. We'll grab a Bayou. And then we'll hopefully get a whole bunch of cards from his hand. This is him to track. Or he forces... Okay. I can live with that. Especially against Shadow, this Tombstalker is going to come in clutch. Hello everyone, welcome to Mom's Basement Streams. We already got the first match out of the way in record time, playing against Goblins. Goblins can be kind of rough for any sort of bug list, because a lot of the time bug lists are on Baleful Strix nonsense and don't have the most aggressive way of dealing with things. Okay, so he's on a Delver list. That's interesting because a lot of the most well-performing of the Shadow lists have actually been on, whatchamacallit, have been on like a Baleful Strix, Jace Vryn's Prodigy, weird mid-rangey type plan. I don't think I want to brainstorm here. I think I'm just gonna get rid of one of his lands. Keep him from being able to cast him. Him. Yeah. Alright, Spell Pierce. I think here is a point where I want to end step Brainstorm, just because that way... I don't think he has a force. If he throws a force at this, I'm 100% cool with that. This is a weird one. So I definitely want the Tombstalker, because I'm going to be able to cast that next turn. Which means I think I do that and let him choose which of those cards he wants to take, because next turn I'll be at 6 cards in yard to delve away. So he's going to play a Shadow. That's okay. grab another Underground Sea and just run out our big beefy boy. Now, let's see. Because if he plays a... What's like our worst case scenario? He plays a Dismember? Huh. Okay. So there, if he dismembered us, even if we counter it, we still lose that exchange. So he'll play a Gurmag. We attempt to daze the Gurmag. All right. Yeah, these dazes are really nice. Wow, why wasn't I running this card before? How big is that? 1111? I have to take that. Yeah, because next turn if I flip an instant or sorcery, he just loses. So we just swing with that. He's forced to block. We run out our Goyf. And then we hopefully are just on our fine and merry way. I mean, it'd be funny if he has to daze this, and then he can't shock in a land to deal with our Delver. Like, that would be hysterical, but unlikely. Well, let's see what he's got. Nice. Okay. Trophy, Leovold, Last Hope, Jite, Edicts, Fatal Push, and I don't want Thoughtseizes here because they go out of style real fast. Hymn to Turok is me. Bitter Blossom is alright. Library is fine. Well, I'm going second, so actually these are probably worse than just having Hymn to Turox because card is nuts. Okay, we will play it like that. See how it goes. And then hopefully just get him would be the ideal outcome. Yeah, this is really greedy against the Delver deck, but their threats. I mean, hopefully we don't get wastelanded out. That would suck. Not be especially surprising, but would suck. No flip. Ew. Drats. I think here he takes the Fatal Push, just because if we do get a black source, he can't cut us off any blue cards. But he can keep us from... Oh, he took the Goyf. Interesting. Oh, he must have brought in Bitter Blossom. Yeah, this is kind of rough for him. Because even if we miss lands, we're still more than likely flipping our bug, and the bug is going to put him on a fast clock, and his deck is already killing itself. Hopefully he doesn't have another land. Land. Okay. Hmm. I'm actually going to Fatal Push that Shadow. Just because... I need to know whether or not he can answer it to decide whether or not... Well, crap. No, we're going to make him use the Edict. Holy cow, that really stinks. Okay. Why did I leave forces in? Well, I'm an idiot. Flusterstorms also probably are better than other things I have in here. Actually, are Flusterstorms even... I don't think Flusterstorm is worth it. Well, okay. Compared to Spell Pure's... Equity is about the same. But Spell Pierce can hit Last Hope. Yes. Yeah, we're going to mull that. So if he wasteland us turn 1, that would be tippers. I don't think it's likely. Well, it doesn't matter if he has bolts. Or, well, it doesn't matter that Tarmogoyf isn't particularly big because he can't cast bolts because he's on straight blue-black. So I'm being an idiot. Yeah, he doesn't want to take the last hope. Because if he does... Well... Well, we'll get a trap and try running out this last hope. He's got the days. Ugh. Oh, no. He's got a force? Okay, that's cool. As long as he's putting himself behind on cards. He's going to have a last hope of his own. Or he might not. That's cool as well. I'm holding this Verdant in case... Sure. In case we get a brainstorm. Well, now we'd want to play it beforehand, but... Really need any sort of threat right now. There is no reason not to daze the Thoughtseize here. Worst case, it gives us a little bit of a tempo advantage. Best case, it stops him from looking at our hand. But it definitely didn't do that. Youch. Okay. Tombstalker, Gurmag Angler, any second now. Daze, why do you do this to me? Really need a kill spell. Nope. Yeah, we're going to lose this one because of that. That's just gross. Ugh. Well, that really stunk. Just didn't have enough threats. Could have gone better. Other hand, it's still a Delver deck, so it's susceptible to just being wastelanded out because even blue-red Delver, surprisingly, you can still just land them out of the game when they think, okay, I have two I have 2 Volks, I'm safe, because I just need 1 to be able to cantrip and not lose. And then you cut them off both and they lose. Why can't I ever win? Well, okay, I won the dice roll last round. Yeah. Other hand, spicy hot new War of the Spark spoilers, including Grave Titan slash Geist. Oh, we were 100% keeping that. But there are a lot of neat cards that are going to be in this next set, and I'm just kind of pumped to have an opportunity to play with a lot of them. Alright, show me the miracle stuff. If I had a daze, what I would do to that ponder. I'd daze the brainstorm, not ponder. Oh, never mind. He's gonna be on show and tell. Interesting. Thoughtseize. So, attack for 3. Then we're going to want to ponder. No, we're not shuffling that. Next turn, we get to Hymnaturok. And then, fairly confident we win. I might be wrong. Never know. Yeah. That's really rough, bud. Okay, so cards we want. Edicts, we want Leovold, because Leovold is a complete house against them. We want Surgical and stuff. We don't want Last Hope. Bitter Blossom is definitely too slow. Fatal Push, surprisingly bad. Weird. True names are worse than Leo. Abrupt Decay is worse than Trophy most of the time. Do I need this library, or is that just superfluous? That's likely superfluous. Abrupt Decay does get rid of Blood Moons, though. Maybe going second. Cut 1 Hymnaturok. Yeah, that feels about right. So hopefully this one goes similarly well. It's just a nuts hand. I don't have anything to complain about. It just does everything Delver wants a hand to do. Turn 1 Delver with 4 stays back up. Beat him up. Hello? Oh, come on. Let me search. Okay. I'm not the biggest fan of letting the brainstorm resolve in this situation, but being his next turn, I want to be able to ponder and leave up 1 mana counter of some kind. Excuse me. Apparently, I am the slep. Show me a hymn to Turok. You know what? That's also fine. Wow. These are apparently the best draws I have gotten in literally years. Yeah, I have to... it always feels really bad when you have to use some counter magic just to... Good news is we got a second Delver of Secrets out there. And hopefully he doesn't do anything about forcing us to use anything this coming turn, because if we can end up having this polluted delta to fetch away something we don't want... Yeah, that stinks. Well, I feel much better. We'll get a trap here because whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And I have to abrupt decay that because otherwise the following turn we're kind of just screwed. Cool. Nice job, boys. Hey, cool. How you doing? How you doing, Grill? All right, let's see what this next match has to bring. Me going first. The allure of the Thoughtseize with the Ponder and the Force is too much to resist. Hopefully we're playing against, like, Storm. Or something that doesn't run Wastelands, actually, is the ideal scenario. This hand is just so disruptive that regardless of what our opponent is doing, I think we're in a fairly good spot. I'm so perplexed right now. I don't want them to draw anything, I guess is my plan here. Land. Hot damn. I am so good at this game. By good, I mean top decking is in art form. So, Flooded Strand, Task Force, Plowshares. He's got Defiant, Lin, and Mirror Entity. I've never played against Rebels, but I've always been told it's a thing. Now I guess I'm gonna learn about how much of a thing it actually is. So they have one card I don't know? Okay. Well, not a bad spot to be in. Yeah, I like having so much interaction. Just cheap, high utility interaction. Because sometimes Delver can get clogged down with your answers and not enough threats, or not enough beefy threats. But this deck, because of the Goyfs, the fact that it's able to mainboard a Last Hope, and it's got everything I want. Library, all that jazz. That's a very nice looking mirror entity you got there. Yep, this is... I was expecting more out of Rebels, which is kind of weird sounding, but I've heard from a few players I actually respect, which is odd because I don't respect like pretty much anyone because I'm a monster. That Rebels used to be some sort of powerhouse in some formats, and I have no idea what they do. I just know that I'm supposed to be scared of them because people who are better at the format than me say I should be scared of them. That's really lame reasoning, I know. But I'm just gonna... Oh no. Well, he doesn't have that mirror entity anymore. Next turn he's gonna tutor something. We're gonna Lily to kill this guy. Almost 100% sure that we're gonna kill him with Lily. What am I gonna bring in this matchup? Get another Trop because I'm being careful. I don't know if they run Wastelands in Rebels. Hmm. Well, need one sorcery. Well, as long as I have that, I should be fine. Do I want to delve this Bitter Blossom? Yeah, I do. Okay. Out of side. Definitely want that. Want that. Definitely want that a lot. So the problem is that I don't know what this deck does, which makes it very hard to adequately sideboard against. I figure, okay, so Daze is probably going to do me very little good. Force as a 2 of is fine. Actually, do I... Okay, so we'll do 2 Hypnotorax, 3 Force of Wills. Actually, Spell Pierce is probably worse than another Hypnotorax. We'll see. Probably shouldn't be too long to figure out how correct or completely wrong I am about how to sideboard for this matchup. Ideally, this goes well. All likelihood, I have no idea what's going to happen, actually, is a better way of putting it. Okay, well, very serviceable hand. Don't think we're going to get better than that. We've got Delver, we've got a Tombstalker, we've got removal, we've got a counterspell. Yeah. Perfect hand. We're going to keep that. They aren't on file, are they? I hope they're not on file. That'd be pretty annoying. So this is like very big death and taxes, I guess. Huh. Well, shit. If I blow up the training grounds, I have ne'er encountered a training grounds deck. In Modern, in Legacy, in anything. Didn't know there were actually people who played these sort of decks. Shit. Well, that's awkward. Okay, well. Just spilled a whole ton of water. Okay. So oh, he ramps up until he gets to... I was not expecting misdirection. That was amongst the last cards I was ever expecting, was a misdirection. Well, hopefully there's a marsh casualties in the super imminent future. Think we dead. Because he gets... what's her name? Then he just makes a whole bunch of rebels and pumps them with mirror entity for 1. Huh. Interesting. Never seen it before. I understand why this deck is scary. Huh. Never have I been so scared of a card I literally haven't seen in years. Combo piece? If it's the one that... if it's the big one, we fatal push it. What did you exile? Oh, back to basics. Didn't even know they played that. To be completely honest. Give me that marsh casualties. Okay, so the Jite buys us some time. Not a whole lot. Wait, no, it doesn't buy us any time at all. Because whatever one we equip it to is just going to get tapped down. Oh no. There are times I wish I ran Toxic Deluge. Okay. So we need to abrupt decay in response to that. That way, at most, he's getting 2 activations. But I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to... Or, well, he can use 2, and then he can tap down a bug. Man, I am feeling some type of way. Power toughness X and gain all creature types. For have base power toughness 4. Oh, we're dead. Okay. Well, that was pretty spoopy. I guess I'm just on the mono removal plan for this game. And hopefully... what's the cut? Probably Ponder. When in doubt, cut Ponder. Good rule of thumb. Man. Rebels. Okay, so we have a Delver into a Tarmogoyf, potentially, or Delver and waste them off of something. Yeah. It isn't as disruptive a hand as we'd want, but it also keeps us from just spontaneously losing. Well, it isn't a guarantee. Well, it isn't a Delver flip on turn super early. It is a Tarmogoyf. I'm so peeved with myself for not being prepared to play against Rebels. Grab a Bayou. The reason we grabbed the Bayou is in case we get a Hymn to Tarak next turn. Or a Last Hope. Either of those work. If I Thoughtseize, that's probably just worse than Abrupt Decaying. Underground Sea. Hopefully no misdirection. Okay. We dodged the misdirection. Thank goodness. Rebels. So hopefully we have 3 power creatures at the start of our next turn. It's a shame we didn't have like a Ponderer. Couldn't keep the Thoughtseize just to be able to... Okay. Well, I realized that we could have technically played the Tombstalker that last turn. It would have led to a really small Goyf, and not necessarily won us that game. Well, now I feel pretty silly about this Tombstalker. Although if need be, we can shrink the Tombstalker. Well, shit. Okay. I don't know, folks. First time ever playing against Rebels. So they probably have a fetch. Okay. Feel good about the called shot. I don't know what the double daze is doing for us. Probably not much. Should have run out the Tombstalker. Yep. This is a really bad feeling way to lose this game. That was stupid. I needed to put the edict back and have the... Well, now ponders are useless. So... This is going to be a really weird one. I'm still not sure if I'm in an advantaged position or not. He can't exactly play creatures because they'll just die. Bold. Very bold. I mean... You got it, my dude. Never thought I'd be playing against rebels. Like... Okay, we're gonna look up a list. I need to understand... Okay. Well, we still have 2 ways of... This is such a weird one. Okay, so... Legacy. You mean people run this deck with Gaia's Cradle? Okay. So he's just... Oops. Going to hold that brainstorm for a minute. Wow. I guess Rebels was a thing in 2010. Unbeknownst to me. Okay. Going to hold this brainstorm for as long as possible. Oh, that is the wrong land. Oops. Well, screwed that up. Pretty bad. Hmm. So the next turn, we double days to bounce our tropical islands, brainstorm. Leave up the fetch. let's grab a trop. Here's hoping. Ooh, okay. Never want to play against rebels again. Ever. The deck is scary and doesn't make any sense because it's just... It is a prison deck, it is a tempo deck, it is just none of the things that make sense to me. Yep. Alright. One more with this. So far, I'm pretty damn happy with how the deck is working. Feels bad losing to Shadow, but sometimes variance hits you. I should have brought in Tormod's Crypt against Shadow. No, I shouldn't have, because Tormod's Crypt... Meh. This is such a fun deck. Granted, it is not as fun as Vintage Hollow One, which I may be a jackass later and decide to play some Hollow One. We can't keep this. This one we can. Curious as to what they're on. Hopefully it's a Stoneforge deck, because that's why I want to practice more, is because I want to play more against Stoneforge decks. I have a very back and forth relationship with Stoneforge Mystic. While it is fine for Modern, I'm always frustrated by Umezawa's Jite and Legacy. Let's see. What could you be on? I think here, in order to find out what he's on, I'm going to just play that, pass, leave the Spell Pierce up. Probably going to run out of Strix. I guessed wrong. Yikes. Okay, we're dead. Okay. Marsh Casualties. Leofold. Lily out. Hydroblast, Flusterstorms in. Surgicals in. Fatal Push, no. Sylvan Library and Bitter Blossom, also no. Sorpai, CMC, True Name, you're really slow and don't offer any disruptive elements. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's really light on threats, but I don't. Should have brought in the Tormods. Yes, we'll keep that. Because we have a turn 1 underground into Delver. We can wasteland them. We have a few different lines we can take, and also we have a Leovold, who, in case you didn't know, is quite exceptional against Storm. Oh! I'm sorry. I'm pretty amused that I played against Phil. Yes. That's a good one to see. Okay, there's a decent chance Strix will be in Modern Horizons. I don't think it does anything for Moderns. It doesn't do anything good for Modern. It just kind of is there. Like, it's not going to add anything. Yes, we actually need Force of Will. That's not a Force of Will adjacent. We just need Force. Or people need to learn to just, adapt to decks. One of the two things. Because there are plenty of ways to... There are plenty of ways of being able to attack the current meta game. Well, there are plenty of decks that beat fast unfair combo. Shadow, Fairies, the Whir decks. There are a lot of decks that beat fast unfair combo. It's just that no one ever wants to pick them up because they tend to be more hard control strategies, and that's not anyone's favorite thing in the world. You run a basic swamp in that deck. One of those two is more relevant than the other, but probably not by a whole lot. I mean, the best combo deck in Modern is probably just normal-ass Valakut. which is sort of a really well kept secret, is that Valakut is just like the best combo deck in the format. I mean, duh. Also, they don't. There's no like heft to any of the struggles any of the characters encounter because no one ever dies. You're like, well, why do I care? And the answer is resounding, you don't. Because why would you? You're like, the whole idea of we are very fortunate that despite gargantuan misplays, okay. What do we need that helps with this? Damn, this is just crappy. That might be okay-ish. I guess. Doesn't feel like it. Feels like if they are running the Xantid Swarm, I guess they got me. Yep, have to keep it. I think we'll... I feel much better about that win now. Hmm. I'm dumb. I could have left the Abrupt Decays in to deal with Chrome Moxes. Also, I don't think he's going to kill half of them. The story just... They don't want to have, like, feels bad moments. And, like, having any character of note die is definitely considered feels bad. Therapy hit the Tarmogoyf? Or the Delver? Yeah, I don't know what they're going to take here. It's not super important. Oh, take the days. That makes sense. It sure would be dope if I had some way of countering things. I mean, I'll just run out 2 Delvers, I guess. These are my clocks. If I can draw a surgical, that would also be really good. I mean, this is pretty good in and of itself. Just because Hydroblast means that we can shut off Burning Wishes. Now, I'm not going to play the Tarmogoyf because they're already on a 3-turn clock, making it... It's not helping anyway to play a Goyf. I mean, now we can play the Goyf, just to get a body out there. Just in case there's like an abrupt decay. But they have to Tendrils us. Okay. Sick. Those are so many legacy points. How many legacy points do we have? We have 6 whole legacy points. What time is it? 6:50. On one hand, I love spending time with Cool Fizz. I hope you hear that. Other hand, I have a molecular biology exam first thing tomorrow morning. So, I am going to pretend to be an adult. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so, recap, Bug Delver, still surprisingly good despite the Death Rate ban. The deck was much better when it had Death Rate Shaman, because it had Death Rate Shaman. And honestly, it just feels great. Goyf feels like a very strong card right now. Nothing felt bad. It all just felt like it was very well positioned right now, and looking forward to running it in Niagara Falls. Leovold is also a house. On that note, I'm gonna get off the stream. Remember to check in tomorrow for Donovan's at I think he is at 9. It might be earlier. There's the whole schedule posted up there. And I will talk with you guys later. I might do a surprise stream sometime soon. So keep an eye out.